13-run outburst. 13 runs. Tremendous pitching all the way around. The Cincinnati Reds are definitely riding a Rocky Mountain high.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Reds. Thanks so much for making Locked On Reds your first listen of the day. We are your daily source for all things Cincinnati Reds. I'm your host, Stephen Offenbaker. I love baseball. I love these Cincinnati Reds. I have taken my love of the game, my love for the Cincinnati Reds, and I have turned that love into baseball, that love of baseball into information for you. Locked On Reds is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Everydayers, oh man, we are going to be talking about an offensive explosion. 13 runs, 18 hits, and they got great starting pitching to go along with it. The Cincinnati Reds needed this game. They need this series. They needed that kind of an outburst to get things back on track. They got it. What a game. I can't wait to talk to you more about that. We're going to talk about the offense. We're going to talk about the pitching. We're going to talk about, can they repeat it today? We're going to get into all of that on today's episode of Locked On Reds. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers. All right, let's get started talking about what was a tremendous, exciting day out at the old ballpark, Coors Field. Coors Field is going to Coors Field, and the Reds had a day. 13 runs, season high. 18 hits, season high. This offense needed this type of game. They needed to go out against a team that they were supposed to beat, a team that they were supposed to have this kind of success against, and they needed to go out and deliver on that, and they did. They went out there, they played well. Every player in the Reds starting lineup got a hit in this game. That's what you needed to see from the Cincinnati Reds in this game. Looking at the starting lineup, looking at how this went down, I think it's a fun exercise just to kind of go one by one and talk about how everybody did. TJ Friedl, who's fresh off the injured list, who had a big home run in Chicago before the team went on out to Denver. TJ Friedl, 2 for 4 with a hit, 2 for 4 with an RBI, 2 for 4 with a run scored. Batting average now up above 200. He is moving in the right direction. Good defense from him as usual, covering that cavernous center field out at Coors Field. TJ Friedl's a guy that, really can be a spark. TJ Friedl can be a guy that helps drive this offense. We talked about that was going to be Matt McLain. Matt McLain, we thought, was going to be the engine. He was going to be the guy that kind of set the pace and led the way and got everybody going. In the absence of Matt McLain, nobody else has really filled that role. And I think all of the injuries to TJ Friedl have really played a big part in this team's offensive struggles, because when you lose Matt McLain, TJ Friedl was kind of your next choice, kind of your next guy to be the dude that would step up, to be the player that would be that engine. And then he was gone as well. So getting him back, this is big for the Reds lineup. I don't think it could come at a better time after suffering what the Reds suffered in May, to get into June, to get into an easier schedule, and to get TJ Friedl back at the top of the lineup. Tremendous. I'm looking for big things from TJ. I think he's going to continue to be that guy. I kind of am looking forward to see what he does today with a lefty on the mound for the Rockies. I want TJ Friedl to be the TJ Friedl of last year. I want TJ Friedl to be the guy that can hit both righties and lefties. Batting average up over 200 again, facing a left-handed pitcher. Look for a big day from TJ Friedl. Would love to see him pull that off. The next guy in the starting lineup for the Reds was Elly De La Cruz. Yes, I know. Elly has struggled. It has been bad. It has not been good at all. But Elly made some strides in the game last night. Not only did he finally break up that 0 for 16 slump that he was in, he goes 1 for 4. He scores a run. He picks up an RBI. His batting average sits around 233 right now. He made a very loud out before he got that hit. He hit a ball hard and deep, almost all the way to the wall, right to where the outfielder could get it. But it was a very loud out. You could see when he went back into the dugout, players were, kind of patting him on the back, giving him knuckles, encouraging him. Everyone on this team knows they need Elly to break out. They need Elly to do some damage. Elly gets a hit in this game. Big double. Great to see. Picks up the RBI. But for me, the Elly De La Cruz moment of the game came in the bottom of the second inning, where EDLC stood for Elly De La Concepcion. And if you missed this play, go find the highlight, because Elly fields a ground ball deep, and I mean deep, in the shortstop hole, turns and fires to first base and bounces the ball in a Davey Concepcion. Like, this is how Davey made his living on AstroTurf, skipping that ball to first base to get the out. That it was if Elly was trying to create a tribute video to Davey Concepcion, it is that play in the bottom of the second inning. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is tremendous defense. And I know he made an error later in the game. I know, I hear you. He's 22 years old. He's going to do that. Elly is going to be fine. Elly is going to figure it out. I hope that the loud out, the big double, the fact that he seems to be trying to just will himself out of the slump, I hope all of that pays dividends today. I hope that continues. I think he got robbed in one of his at-bats. We saw David Bell come out and argue with a huge lead because Elly felt like a ball fouled off his foot. The umpires didn't give it to him. They called it the ball in play. Elly was out. That at-bat was kind of stolen from him. So I'm looking forward to see what Elly can do the rest of this series. And, when Tim Daniel was on Monday's show yesterday, I said, all Elly needs to do is put the ball in play. If he can put the ball in play, he can do damage. He can wreak havoc. That holds true. Need Elly to put the ball in play today. Looking forward to see what he does out there in Denver. Jeimer Candelario continues to be huge, massive, amazing since the time we called him out at the end of April. When I did that, when I was expressing tremendous concern about Jeimer Candelario and how he was playing, Jeff told me, just you wait. He always heats up in May. He did that. He heated up. It continues to be hot. His batting average is up to 233 after being abysmal. He went 2 for 5 in last night's game with the big home run. He scored 2 runs, picked up 2 RBIs. What an outing for Jeimer Candelario. Plays a decent third base. I don't like him as much over at first base. If Jeimer continues to hit the way that he's hitting right now, I'm ready to take everything back that I said there at the end of April. I was really discouraged, but Jeff ended up being just on the nose with what was going to happen with Jeimer Candelario. What a tremendous at bat. What a tremendous just at bats that he's having right now. And this lineup needs more of that. Spencer Steer went 3 for 5 last night, guys. What a game. I'm so excited about what we saw. Not just, I know it was the Rockies. I know that this is what was supposed to happen, but the Reds haven't been doing what was supposed to happen. Spencer Steer, 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, scores a run. His batting average hovering around 243 right now, on the uptick. If the Reds are going to be successful, they're going to have to be on their unsung hero, which is Spencer Steer. Elly De La Cruz is the flash of this team. Spencer Steer is its most valuable player. I said earlier this season that Spencer Steer was its most important player, and maybe that important player and MVP were 2 different things. But for this Reds team right now, its most valuable player, its most important player are the same guy, Spencer Steer. My guy, Tyler Stevenson, homered again, 34 to go. Tyler Stevenson has been hitting the ball hard. I love to see it. I just need more playing time for Tyler Stevenson. Less Luke Maile. Pick your moments, David Bell, that you're going to use Luke Maile. More Tyler Stevenson. 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Big fly in the ninth inning to round out the scoring for the Reds. Love me some Tyler Stevenson. Hope he continues on this tear. Nick Martini was 1 for 5. He picked up a hit in this game, scored a run. Jonathan India, what a night for Jonathan India. Breakout night for Jonathan India. 3 for 4, scored 2 runs. Batting average up again to 239. He was trending down. Looks like he has turned it around. Tremendous outing for Jonathan India. And rounding out the starting lineup from the game last night, Will Benson. 2 for 3, scored 2 runs, picked up 3 RBIs. And how exciting was that triple? This is the kind of stuff that Will Benson brings when you can get him in there against right-handed pitchers. Just a tremendous, the best number 9 hitter in baseball is back when there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound. More Will Benson against righties. What a tremendous outing. So much fun watching this game last night. I needed this. I'm sure you needed this. Again, season highs, runs scored, 13. Season high, hits, 18. Tremendous stuff from the Reds offense. Hopefully they bring up more of the same today. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. But before we get into that, not only did the offense deliver with the 13-run, 18-hit performance, but the pitchers did a thing in a place where the pitchers aren't supposed to do a thing. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Andrew Abbott, Brent Suter, and Justin Wilson and how they performed in Coors Field. We got that coming up next. It's winner take all time in the NBA and the NHL, and FanDuel gives you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers are going to get $150 in bonus bets back with any winning $5 bet. So if you want to get in on that NHL action, throw $5 at it. If you win, $150 back to you. Same goes for the NBA. Pick the winner, $5 bet, you're going to get $150 back. Not feeling the NBA or the NHL? Get in on some Major League Baseball action. You could take the Reds to win. You could take a money line. You could take total hits in a game for Spencer Steer. The possibilities are endless over at FanDuel. You can visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get in on your $150 in bonus bets back if your first $5 bet wins. That's right, $150 in bonus bets back. Your first $5 bet win. Just visit FanDuel.com/locked-on and make every playoff shot count. Remember that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. You have got to check out Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 streaming sports channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories in sports. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or for free on the Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, not only did the hitters deliver out in Denver last night, but the pitching did a thing. Look, when Tim Daniel and I were talking about what we would consider successful starts from Andrew Abbott, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. That is a quality start, and he did it at Coors Field. This is big for Andrew Abbott. That big sweeper was working out in Denver. Andrew Abbott was coming off of a not so great start his last time out against the Cardinals. And I think that he needed this for a confidence build. I think the Reds needed this. This was a perfect storm of opportunity, really. An opportunity for the hitters to really get something going, get something cooking. Tons of opportunity for slump breakers, right? Because you're playing in Denver. You can get your hitting together there. But for a starting pitcher to go out there and deliver that kind of performance, again, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk in 6 innings, 7 hits, limited the damage from those hits, only allowed 3 runs at Coors Field. Tremendous confidence build for Andrew Abbott, for a pitcher that probably needed a little bit of a confidence build. You know, that line anywhere else in baseball, 3 runs in 6 innings, you would consider that an okay start. When you look at that start through the lens of Denver, through the lens of high altitude, you have to look at that start and consider it to be a tremendous success. You have to look at that start and really, quality start doesn't begin to describe it. He battled, he fought out of some tough situations. He only he limited one free pass. I'm so excited for what Andrew Abbott was able to do last night. He looked sharp. He looked confident. He was unafraid. He challenged hitters. He got the job done. There's no other way to describe that than he simply got the job done. And that, more than anything else, is what the Reds needed, because it eliminated pressure on the bullpen. He covered 6 innings. That left just 3 innings for the bullpen to cover. And the bullpen did a tremendous job as well. They went to Brett Suter, who pitched multiple innings. He pitched 2 innings. He did allow 2 hits in those 2 innings, but he struck out 2 guys as well, walked nobody. Brett Suter, what a fun guy. And for him to get to kind of return to Denver, he pitched in 20 plus games in Denver last season as a member of the Colorado Rockies. He has kind of figured out Coors Field and how to be successful there. You have to imagine that these Reds pitchers that are going to be pitching, especially the starters that are going to be pitching in Denver in this series, probably talk to Brett and ask him for tips, for insights, because Brent Suter has figured out how to pitch in Denver. Very successful there. Very successful for the Reds last night. Tremendous work from him. And I know that he has not been overly fantastic at times. And I think he's probably been disappointed in himself at times for how things have gone. But by and large, I don't mind having Brett Suter in this bullpen. I don't mind when he's in a game. And tremendous effort, tremendous outing from him yesterday to keep this game in check and not let anything get going and not allow the Rockies to really do anything against him. And then welcome back Justin Wilson. He pitched the 9th inning. Obviously it's a blowout at this point. Tyler Stevenson, hits his home run in the 9th. The Reds go up 13-3. So 10-run lead heading into the 9th. Not a lot of pressure there, but Justin Wilson really needed a good outing. Now, he didn't strike anybody out. He got his 3 outs. He didn't walk anybody either. That's a good sign. Nice, clean inning. 1 inning of work, no runs, no hits, no base runners allowed. Kind of get Justin Wilson back in the groove. Justin Wilson, I think, is better than what his stat lines have been recently. Justin Wilson has been maybe a little undervalued, underappreciated. I think that he's going to be a big part of this bullpen for the rest of the season, and not a 9th inning guy, not a late inning guy. But I think Justin Wilson's value to this team is being able to come in and pitch in the 7th or 8th inning in closer games to set the table for Lucas Sims or for Fernando Cruz or for Alexis Diaz. Big blowout win like this does a lot for this pitching staff and for this bullpen, because heading into today's game, you have to assume that Brett Suter's not available. You don't really need to use Justin Wilson. You know who's ready to go? Sims, Cruz, Diaz. So if this is a closer game today out in Denver, you've got your big guns ready and available to come out of the bullpen. Now, we're going to talk about in just a minute that on the mound for the Reds is Frankie Montas, and this is another starter that's going to need a big outing, looking for kind of a get right start. And there's also a couple guys in the Reds lineup that are going to get some action today that didn't get to play yesterday that the Reds are going to really be counting on to get things done. We're going to get into all of those guys coming up in just a minute, but just once again, to shout out this pitching performance. The hitters were tremendous. The pitching was equally tremendous. Again, Andrew Abbott, 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, limited the damage from that to just 3 runs, struck out 6, walked 1. Brett Suter, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 0 walks. Justin Wilson, 1 inning, no runs, no hits, no walks. What a day. What a time to watch a Reds game. I needed that so much. But again, we're going to talk about if the Reds can duplicate this feat, if the offense can continue to score these runs, if the pitchers can continue to deliver. We've got all that coming up right after this. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or you're going to get your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. You can catch every pitch of the Reds' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Reds. Also, if you haven't done so, bookmark CincinnatiRedsTalk.com. Jeff Carr's writing tons over there. I'm writing occasionally there. James Rapin's writing. Audie Elmore's writing. Such a great crew of people that have spent tons of time talking about the Reds that are now writing about the Reds as well. Jump over there in between episodes, in between games, to get your Reds fix as well. You won't regret it. Check it out. Comment section, you guys on YouTube. I love you guys. Tim Daniels on yesterday. Someone called him Walmart Jeff Carr. You guys are ruthless. And by the way, he loves it. He loves that stuff. Previous appearance, someone went in the comment section and said that Tim Daniel is who you would get if you were on wish.com and ordered a Jeff Carr. And then one of you guys called him Walmart Jeff Carr yesterday. Keep him coming. He loves it. I think it's hilarious. Pick on him, not me, but that stuff's funny. You guys are great. I appreciate you guys watching and commenting. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, thank you. And click that like button down there. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button. And if you're in the audio feeds right now, make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a comment. Love talking baseball with you guys. Share the show with your friends. We would love to have more people to talk Reds baseball with. We love talking Reds baseball. We love talking Reds baseball with you. We appreciate you guys so much for being here. All right. The question on everybody's mind is, can the Reds duplicate what they did yesterday today? Now, I don't know that they're going to score 13, 14 runs again, or if they're going to break 18 hits, but it's a very winnable game today against the Colorado Rockies. There is a lefty on the mound. Ty Block is going for the Rockies. On the season, he's pitching 8 games. He's 2-2 with a 4.15 ERA and 34.2 innings pitched. He struck out 17 guys. So not overly intimidating, but he can do some things. He's a major league pitcher for a reason. This is an opportunity for a breakout performance from Stuart Fairchild. I have acquiesced to you all. I have conceded the point that you are right. He is not a 4A player. If used in the right situations, in the right moments, at the right time, Stuart Fairchild is a very valuable piece to this Reds lineup. With a lefty on the mound today, it's Stuart Fairchild's time to shine. He's going to be in there. He's going to be a starter. He's going to get at bats. I would love to see him go off. First of all, the defense that he has provided in his last several starts, all-star caliber defense. And with that, just giant, enormous outfield in Denver, that's the kind of defense you need. So I look forward to a good defensive game from Stuart Fairchild. Offensively, facing a lefty, I would like to see Stuart Fairchild with a big knock. I would love to see him go deep. I would love to see a multi-hit game from Stuart Fairchild. I would love to see what he can do on the bases. Now's his time to shine. He is a guy that, as a right-handed platoon, I have said a couple times now, and I continue to say that Stuart Fairchild and Will Benson together are a fantastic all-star caliber outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds. Those two guys together. Strictly platoon them the rest of the way. Stuart Fairchild, every time there's a lefty starting. Will Benson, every time there's a righty starting. That is a great combination right there. That coupled with the fact that TJ Friedel is back, and hopefully TJ Friedel, Spencer Steer has been playing a lot of infield. It'll be interesting to see where he is in today's lineup. That's not out yet at the time of recording, but I look forward to seeing what that looks like. Stuart Fairchild is my offensive player to watch. I want a breakout day. I'm talking 3 for 4 from Stu with a home run and a couple RBIs and maybe a big diving defensive catch. That's the kind of day I'm looking for from Stuart Fairchild. On the mound for the Reds is Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas has been really streaky. He's been somewhat inconsistent. Great starts, not so great starts. Big moments, not so big moments. He's saying all the right things in his interviews, in his press conferences, talking about how he feels healthy, the shoulder feels good, he's ready to let it rip. And it doesn't always come off that way. It doesn't always necessarily work out that way. This is a big ask for Frankie Montas today in Denver. This is a guy that still hasn't figured out his consistency, and you've got him pitching in a place that really just throws pitchers off their game. I'm looking for Frankie Montas. If he can manage to deliver that same 6-inning level of work and allow Denver or Colorado rather, 4 or less runs, 6 innings, 4 or less runs, allow the Reds to be in the game, allow the offense to be able to be in a position to do some things and score some runs, then I will consider that a successful start from Frankie Montas. I don't need him to shut out the Rockies. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will take it if he shuts out the Rockies. Absolutely. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what he needs to go out there and do. He just needs to limit damage, much like Andrew Abbott did last night. He's going to give up some hits in Denver. There's just really no way around it. He just needs to limit the damage from those hits. No free passes. Don't walk a bunch of guys. Keep the Reds in this game and let the offense cook. I really want to see the offense cook today. I really want to see Stuart Fairchild cook today. And a byproduct of that is going to be success for Frankie Montas. Fortunately for the Reds, with only Suter and Wilson going last night, I mentioned this, the bullpen is ready, primed to go. The big guns are locked and loaded and rested. Lucas Sims, available and rested. Fernando Cruz, available and rested. Alexis Diaz, available and rested. If this game is close, if the Reds are in a position to win it, in a position to get the save, they've got the guys available to get it done. Get this series win in the books, and then we can start talking about a sweep. Tim Daniel, he predicted a sweep. I said 2 of 3. I hope Tim is right. I don't like being wrong, but in this instance, totally acceptable. I will totally be okay with being wrong if the Reds can sweep this series. I think that's a great place to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Everydayers, thanks so much for making Locked On Reds your first listen of the day. Coming up tomorrow, we will continue to talk about this Colorado Rockies series. Hopefully, we're talking about a series win. Hopefully, we're setting the table for a sweep. We'll talk about it together. Make sure you have clicked subscribe. Make sure you have clicked like. Thank you so much for listening to us each and every day. We love talking baseball with you, and we love keeping you locked on Reds every single day.